Welcome back to Dave and Audrey Does Outdoors. I'm a little bit jammed in the car. I've got my bike. As you've seen by the title, today's video is going to be a hard one, really hard. I'm currently driving up north to spend the day up just north of Blair Athol. Cairnlath is a hill. I'm not sure if it's a Munro, it looks pretty tall, and there's another couple of Munros at the back of Cairnlath. We're going to park at Loch Morag, which is just north of Blair Athol. Today's video is really just to, if anyone's watching this that spends any time walking in and around I suppose the southern Cairngorms, kind of north of Pitlochry, Blair Athol way. If you're out walking about, keep a lookout. Because one of my friends is missing. It's been a bit weird. On my Facebook page just 2 days ago, an old friend of mine, Ross Kinghorn, and you'll have seen, I'm going to put up his missing posters and stuff. Ross wasn't on Facebook, he wasn't a big social media guy, and I haven't spoken to Ross for a good few years, certainly way before the pandemic. I did a couple of hills with him and my brother-in-law Matt, a few years ago in the Cairngorms, and but it popped up on my Facebook page, missing person, Ross Kinghorn, and I recognise, obviously I know his face, I know Ross really well, and I was like, what? That's bizarre. So I kind of read on, and he's been missing since about the 16th of January. We're now on about the 20th of May. So it's about 4 months. They've called all the searching off. So my thoughts go out to his family, his friends. Absolute brutal. So today we're just going to go up, me and the dog. I want to find the car park, get a lay of the land. I've got my bike. I don't know if I'll cycle or not. It's the clouds really low, so visibility is going to be really bad. It's wet, it's forecast rain. So I really just wanted to get up, spend some time in the area, find the car park, get my bearings, get a sense, because over the summer I'm going to hopefully get a few camps up there and just start to look for Ross. It's a real shocker. I'll tell you a bit more about Ross as we go. One of the nicest guys, an absolute mountain. Ross was wild camping and sleeping in bivvies and summits 30, 35, 40 years ago, and has done for well over 40, 45 years probably. Climbed every single Munro, probably twice over. I climbed his last Munro with him. It was a way across on it's near Sullivan, way across on some peninsula. It took us about a day to actually get to the mountain. I climbed the Anochioch Ridge, which is the hardest ridge on mainland Scotland, with Ross. We did the Cobbler, which was the Eye of the Needles, all the kind of really hard, challenging ones. Ross would pull some of his pals up, and spent a lot of time years ago. We would go up days like today on a Sunday or a Saturday and do a little range of Munros, because he was bagging them all. So great map reader. He had a satellite way back at the beginning. I remember he got one of the first kind of Garmin satellites, and I'm going back at least 30-35 years ago. So he knew his mountains, he was great at navigator. Latterly, after I'm climbing all the Munros, he got into rope climbing, so he was spending a lot of time in some of the big walls. So again, really proficient with the ropes, you know, just an all-round mountain guy. So today's going to be a hard day, heavy-hearted, but just spend some time up in the hills around Blair Athol, where Ross was last seen. So we're going to crack on. We'll get you back in a wee while. I'm not sure how much filming we're going to do today, because as I said, it's forecast to be rain, forecast to be low cloud. So I'm not too sure if we're going to, how far we're really going to go today. So we've got some lunch, we've got the dog a good walk, so thanks for tuning in. So that's Loch Morrig car park there. Loch Morrig just kind of sort of sits. It's a wee hill road up from the back of Blair Athol. Fairly easy to find. It's a pay car park, and it looks like it's all getting done up, and they're going to do the road up. So I think the week of about the 22nd of May, that road's closed. So we're now on about the 20th of May 2023, and Ross went missing about 4 months ago, and this is the way he would have walked. It's hard to believe, like. I mean, mid-January, that's not for the faint-hearted. Stunning little island across there. I'm going to end up looking in these woods. You know, you set off, you landed here, realistically here, on this path the first morning, I'd say between 10 and 11 AM. The time he dumps his bag, walks up from the old bridge of Tilt up to here. I'd brought my bike, but it's mountain bike. I'm glad I didn't bring it actually. It's really, today's really just a recce. And came away without my wallet. I had to get somebody else to pay, so I've taken his name and his postcode, so I'm going to send him a £5. Typical a day that you forget lots of sheep, lots of lambs, so Audrey's staying on her lead. So to fill you in with a bit more detail, there's been search parties, mountain rescue, there's been flyovers, there's been aeroplanes, there's been search parties in rivers, in the loch. I mean, the 17th of January you're going to drop, I mean it could drop to sub 20, minus 20 overnight. You didn't have any overnight camping stuff, I don't think. I've not spoken to anyone, I'm just really piecing it all together, what I've seen on kind of in the newspapers and on Facebook. So Ross was like, you'd set off like today like this, before you know it he's about 2 miles ahead, just like absolute machine. Bless. Ross loved it up here. This was like his happy place. This was where we both nursed together at the Royal Edinburgh, and Ross did nights for years and years and years, and he would like finish 3 nights on and get the train up. He never drove until he was about, I don't know, 40, about 40 I think he passed his test. So relying on public transport. So this type of trip was normal for him. Train up, early in the morning, winter, doesn't matter. He had enough gear, he knew what to do to get out, to get down. That's why it's really bizarre. And he would spend, you know, every waking moment up in the mountains. Did every single Monroe, like I said. Knew his way around, confident, map reader, navigator. So, very strange, and he needs to get brought home to his family. So, right, pretty sort of undulating big hills. So I'm saying, you know, if you look at the landscape of the path so far, you know, there's a good visibility. You're going to see, you know, this is why I think maybe ducked into the woods. I don't know. Right, I'm just going to get a wee bit of trekking done. Really just assessing the car parking and heavy heart today. Heavy, heavy heart. Another one of my mates. He was same age as me. Did some serious partying together as well. Today I'm going to remember a lot of happy, happy memories with Ross. Up in the hills. He came on my 30th, which was a bit of a monster night. Clubbing. Right, let's get a wee bit of distance. There's a few folk up already. It's only 8 in the morning. Took an hour to get up. Lots of traffic, lots of roadworks on the A9 and stuff, so on a bad day from mine this would take about an hour and a half, an hour 45. On a good day, early on a Sunday morning, not long. Really low visibility, you can see, you know, that's not even high, so might just come back and look around this loch I'm just trying to sort of strike a couple of wee things off that are a wee bit sort of more random rather than like something strange has happened, something not predictable, bunked up, and he's hidden because otherwise he'd have been seen. That's us getting into our stride now. It takes about 10 minutes to loosen up, warm up. She's loving it. So it's really beautiful little range, and you're not really seeing it today. But you can see Cairnlath's probably up here. I don't know if I'm going to go up there. There's a few walkers. I think it's a path. So I feel more confident if it's a path up, turn round, follow the path back. You know, it's really difficult to get lost. I've got map, got compass, but when the visibility is as bad as this, it all becomes quite challenging. But you can see this kind of lovely, bumpy kind of ridge kind of round here. You know, so sort of little stunning range of hills. Sorry, I'm just doing a burrow. So we come to some sort of little hut, and then you're going up Cairn Laith, and I think the other two Munros are round over the back that way. So, but there's a low path that cuts right through the glen, so really I'm just up just to get a sense. It's expansive, it really is. So this is the obvious little kind of route up to Cairn Laith. I'm just going to follow the path up a bit and just see how we get on, because the other paths, this kind of sort of valley path, so it's rubbish visibility, like I'm not going to enjoy that. I don't know, I might just go right along the glen. I'm going to go up the path and see where the path goes and see how it feels, and then come down and go up the glen a little bit. I've got all day. So this is the wee sort of hut, just at the, again, you could probably pitch a wee tent behind there. But this is, you know, there's two people ahead, there's a little group behind, so come on, do. Popular Munro bagging up here, because there's 3 that you can do that are relatively easy. So I think I'm just going to do this first one. I'm just going to follow the path and to see where the path, just to get my bearings and come down and do a little bit of exploring. So it's expansive, it really is, massive area. But again, me and her up here for an overnight, get up quite early, do some walking, do a little patch, get off the beaten track over this summer. That's how we're going to do it. It's not stick to the path job, there's no point. This is pretty well straight up to the summit, I think. Looks quite monstrous like. You can see a couple of guys here. Path just goes up into the clouds. Might clear, doubt it. Put the camera in the bag, because that's us, a couple of climbers just there, so I'm going to stick with them. And another little group going along the bottom path, which is what I'm probably going to come down and do. Nice and low, beneath the cloud line. This is going to follow this path, and it's well marked, but we're not really that high and it's starting to get really cloudy, so I think it will blow over and move about. So we're not taking any risks today, just to reassure everyone. We're just sticking to the path. I've got my map and where I am, compass, etc. So up from Loch Moraig, and we've just come along that path. There's the wee hut, right up this front, steep, and we're at this cairn, and that would be the normal path, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to go back down and just along the glen a little bit, because we're at this cairn, 975 metres. That's the cairn right there. Just past 3 guys, shorts, up, fell running, about to do 45k down to the Blair Athol, so it's quite well used with fell runners. Pretty arduous, it's a bit of a ball burster, but that's at what, 975. It goes up to 1070, so another 100 metre climb up onto the next hill, but it's pretty miserable, so I'm just going to go down. It's only 10 so that's only taken me, I don't know, an hour to get up here. So yeah, so for Ross this would have been fairly easy, but ball bursts are all the same. The path kind of sort of like goes up here, but just going to get thicker with the fog, so I'm not going to take any risk today. I'm just going to turn round. Got my coat on, she's got her coat on. I'm going to go down, have some lunch down at the hut, and then walk along the glen a little bit. I just wanted to get to this height because that's the kind of the most difficult elevation done, and just wanted to kind of feel that. She's got her coat on. Audrey. Right, camera's getting wet, the rain's coming down a little bit now. I'm just going to get down, have my lunch down the bottom somewhere. I don't know, above 700 metres or something like that. It just seems to drop a degree, and you know, so. But fine, you know, all good. I've passed about 8 people, all on this path, so you can see. A little bit of a view now. Interesting little hill across there with trees. That's Loch Moraig. Car park right beside it. Those little woods there. Hill path down. You can actually see there's Blair Athol Castle. So this is that glen, that way is Glen Tilt. And you can see the little hut. That's the kind of hill path. And that's the kind of glen road. So there's a few folk walking down the glen road. Sure what is going on is that. Well done. This is the kind of road that I was going to try and use my mountain bike on. The first bit, it's really rocky, and it's not really a mountain bike, it's more of a town bike, so the tyres are not the best for this type of road, because my sense is getting along here, there's been like lots of different plane sorties going across, zigzag, high resolution digital imagery on clear days, so anything down here on the flat, you're going to stand out. Although the bracken's quite thick up there, so I don't know, it's expansive. That feels better. I'm having a coffee and chocolate. Sandwiches, fruit. It's really expansive, as you can see. That's the hill that I've been up this morning, and it just goes on. Today was really just a kind of I kind of get my head around it all. So I wouldn't sign off yet. I'll sign off playing in the car park at the cars, man. So bit of a sad one today. No answers. Wasn't expecting any answers. It is what it is, but it's sad. It's super sad. Ross was a top bloke, really, really good guy. I remember him working at the Royal Edinburgh. He just had a way of running his night shifts, caring, you know, in his style. Patients would talk really highly of him. There was never any trouble. He always really kind of sort of calm, very calm. We've had some good times together. I'm holding on to those good memories today. I've had a wee bit of a greet and at the same time a bit of a chuckle with some of the kind of happier memories as well. So back at the car, so you can see, you know, it's a pretty busy, well used car park up here, mainly going up that glen. So again, lots of people out, signs up everywhere, so fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Well, that's me back home. Takes about an hour. The traffic on the A9 is just a nightmare. It's about an hour and a half. But got up nice and early this morning, found the car park. It's a pay car park, so you need to either have a card or some cash. So that's at Loch Moraig. I'll show you the map, and I'll show you where I went today, and I'll just give you a sense of the kind of sort of the area. For me today, it was really just, I guess, just to be a little bit closer to Ross and just process a little bit of that news this week that I've had, and just trying to make sense of it, and spend some time in the area, get a feel for the hills, the woods. You know, it's a massive, massive expanse, and not only that, he left his stuff down at the old Blair Athol, the tilt bridge, which is quite a bit away from even this Loch Moraig car park, and even further away from the hill range. So I don't know, hopefully I'll find out a bit more in due course in terms of kind of where they've searched, because they've searched for months. They've called off the search now because it was the 16th of January and now it's about the 20th of May, so it's about 4 months. So heart goes out to the family and friends, you know, of Ross. Just, you know, I can't imagine what you're going through. I really can't. So hopefully, anyway, this little video, it's to remember a dear friend. Also, if you're up in that area, if you feel safe enough to be having a little look about, realistically it needs to be off path now, because the paths, I mean, even today there was, I don't know, about 15 cars, and I passed groups and couples, and I mean, I was speaking to them all and mentioning, you know, my friend Ross and everyone, you know, but they're all like me today. I kind of went up the path, but also had a wee sort of look about as well, off the path a little bit, but it's just miles and miles and miles. So I'm going to go back up anyway. I'm going to go up and get some tent nights up there. So if I can go a bit further in and pitch, and just start to have a little explore, rather than like maybe from the top, but have a little look. I don't know. We'll see what happens over the summer in terms of kind of wild camping and things. Anyway, but so right, let's have a look at the map. I'll talk you through the area and where I went today. So this is Blair Athol, and when you drive into Blair Athol, you can basically follow this road round and just keep to the right, and it kind of goes up the hill. It's quite, this is all getting fixed this week, the week of the 22nd to 28th of May 2023, that's getting fixed, and it goes up, and now it's a pay car park right on this side of Loch Moraig, and you can't miss it. It's, you know, you're basically staying right when you go through Blair Athol, and you go over the bridge of Tilt, and just you stay right, and then you're up here. What I did today, basically, I walked along this path, and you come to this small little hut. You come to a little hut, then the path, you saw some of the, and it went into the clouds about here, and then I got up to the summit here, Cairnlath, which is 975 metres, and then Ross had been seen at the top of that hill. He'd been seen traversing across this ridge, and I think he'd been seen up here on the 16th of January, and there's a third hill over here, and then you've got this loch, and then this is Glen Tilt. It comes down this side. So it's an absolute expanse, you know, because Ross had left his stuff down here at the old bridge of Tilt there, walked up here, up here, up here, and up here in one day, and then we're not too sure. Could have gone over here, could have come down, could have come down. So I just kind of went from here up to the summit here in the clouds, came back down, had a little look about, there's some rocks and bits and pieces down here, and I walked along this way, had a look up here with my binoculars, and then sat here on my lunch, looked up here, went back, had a look around this little loch, back to the car. Listen, that was a wee different one for the channel, you know, really just, you know, hoping to just keep the thing, keep people looking and keep Ross in people's minds and his family. So thanks again for tuning in. We'll catch you in the next adventure. Take care.